Hi, I'm Katherine Trebeck and I work for the Wellbeing Economy Alliance. And I have spent many, many years thinking about how our economy operates, who's winning and who's losing out of the current economic system and why that is the case. And it is very hard not to be asking those sort of questions and involved in those sort of conversations and not see that so often it is women who are marginalised by the nature of economic activity, marginalised by the sort of jobs they're forced to go into, the low pay of those jobs, the terrible conditions of those jobs in Scotland and on a global scale as well. So often it is women who are at the bottom of the pile in terms of labour quality and labour supply chains, but also how much it is so often women who do so much of that care economy work that enables the formal economy to operate. It's a care economy on which the formal economy stands. And so it's this pernicious paradox that we've got an economic system that is not valuing that which it actually feeds on. So it's a crazy imbalance that we've got, let alone of all the environmental pressures that's coming about from an economic system that doesn't value what truly most matters to people. So we're chewing up communities and we're chewing up the environment for profits for the very wealthy, more and more wealth being taken by those who have already got a lot of wealth, young people, particularly on women, anxious for their future. And of course, there have been some signs of progress and some cause for celebration, but not nearly enough. We're still in a situation where we have men thinking they're heroic when they sign the pledge to not go on all male panels, for example. And yet all male panels keep existing. Just a couple of weeks ago, or prior to the lockdown, I was chairing an event, a big audience, and I said, I'm going to, in the question and answer, I'm going to unashamedly, unapologetically alternate between questions from a woman and from a man. And a man afterwards reported that he felt disenfranchised by that. Not, we're kind of missing the point that for so long, women's voices have been kicked out of conversations and kept out of those conversations. So it's time we started imagining a system where it wasn't exceptional to have gender balance on a panel, where we're not judged by what our business card says, where we're judged actually by our contribution to society, where amazing women are at the top of organizations, and that is normal rather than the exception, where we don't need to talk about the need perhaps for quotas or all women shortlists because it becomes so natural that women, based on their capability and their experience and their ideas and their integrity, are seen as best for the job rather than just defaulting to what we're usually used to, and that's just another often not very brilliant man. And so we've got to have these big conversations about the link between gender inequality and the way the economy operates, the economic system operates. And fair work is one of the connection points. Having work that not just pays enough to live on, because it's extraordinary that we now have the extent of in-work poverty that so often is experienced more by women than by men. It's extraordinary that we've got jobs that are not delivering fundamental needs of autonomy, relatedness, purpose. It's extraordinary that we've got jobs that are not structured around other aspects of people's lives, as if we are just little worker bees in service of the economy. We need to flip that on its head and have an economy that is in service of humanity, an economy that is designed with humanity at its foremost goal. And that means changing our measures of progress. So no longer do we measure our country's success by gross domestic product or house price rises or the stock market or consumer retail figures, but things like how many girls ride their bikes to school, or how much informal volunteering there is, or how often people access green space, or whether homelessness is coming down. They're the sort of measures that really matter to people's lives. And if we can transform the economy around those measures, what will follow suit is different business models, different business practices, different ways of doing work. Work actually will be celebrated rather than seen as a cost that employers and business owners want to reduce. Even better would be that we no longer had a division between business owners and workers, and we actually had workers owning many more of the businesses through cooperatives, because then you got a much stronger alignment between the nature of a business and its purpose and the people who are most impacted by it. That's the sort of economy that will define a wellbeing economy. That's a wellbeing economy is one that will do a hell of a lot in service of creating a gender equal world. The economy is not everything. but it is a hell of a huge piece of the jigsaw. When you look at all the challenges facing the world today, of which gender inequality is one big part, and you ask why, what is going on there, but why, you so often find yourself facing how the economy operates. That's why we need to transform our economic system if we're going to bring about a more gender equal society. So lots is happening, but not nearly enough. And the only way we'll get there is by when we work together much more, collaborate, support each other. Women are great at that. We're natural collaborators so often. We just need to make that the rule rather than the exception. And I'm really excited to be able to talk to you, to think about how do we create those roots between transforming economic system and that absolutely crucial goal of creating a gender equal society, because we can't have one without the other.